Hey everybody, welcome back to the warbossfitz channel. I am warbossfitz, and we're here again with another tactics game. And today we got the Eternal Dynasty versus the Robot Legion. Now let's go over our Eternal Dynasty first. Their army special rule is Clan Warrior. If they get a 6 to hit, they get to make one more attack with the weapon they got the 6 to hit. And in this army, we have one squad of warriors. 8 of those have carbines, 2 of those have plasma guns, led by a Dynasty leader that has a pistol, because I kind of ran out of points, but it does have warrior boost. And then I got another squad of 10 outfitted the same way, except their Dynasty leader also has warrior boost, but he is carrying a carbine himself. And then we got 2 squads of 5 attack drones, and they have 1 shot apiece with puncture. And what puncture does is it ignores regeneration, and things that are toughness 3 to toughness 9, they become AP 4. And then we have an Oni captain with 3 Onis in a squad. They all have their jetpacks, so they all have ambush and flying. They also have the rapid charge aura, and everyone is carrying AP2 halberds. And then finally there in the back, something you do not see much, we have a Dynasty tank rocking a heavy flamer and a 9-shot AP2 autocannon. Now this is an army you don't see very many videos of, and I kind of want to put them on the board because I haven't seen them or played with them in a while. Let's check out the Robot Legion. Here is the Robot Legion. We have 10 warriors all rocking the destructive guns, meaning 6s to hit or AP4, led by a robot lord with a reanimation aura and his own destructive guns. And then we have 10 guardians with jetpacks and shotguns, being led by a robot lord with a jetpack, a shotgun, and a relentless aura. Then we have 10 flesh eaters, never leave home without them. We have an Annihilator Lord with the reanimation aura leading 6 Annihilators. This squad is just really hard to put down. 3 hover bikes to give us some high speed violence. And then we have a tripod walker back there doing the gangster lean. Let's check out the board. So this is our board. And for our mission, we went to the Don't Think Just Charge Discord. We grabbed the mission randomizer that Harvey just came out with. And this is the mission that popped out. 5 objectives. We got the L deployment, end of game scoring, 1 victory point for each objective, and 1 victory point if you control a table quarter. Secondaries are finalized. Last player to destroy a unit. Control 1 unit within 6 inches of the center at the end of the game. And assassinate, kill the most expensive heroes. And for our Eternal Dynasty, that's going to be the Oni captain. And for the Robot Legions, that will be the Annihilator Lord. Now, for longtime viewers of the channel, you're going to remember this. I dug out the old dice box. If I'm going to be doing these on my own to show off some tactics, I'm definitely going to pull this out. Let's see who's going to go first or who's going to deploy first to pick the side. So we got the Eternal Dynasty with a 4 and the Robot Legion with a 1. So Eternal Dynasty, you're going to pick the table side and go first. I will be back after deployment and show you what happens. So here is the Eternal Dynasty's deployment. On their left flank, where the deployment zone kicked out, that's where they're going to put their tank. It can move forward and grab that objective, and also has some pretty good open sight lines to the 3 objectives in the middle. So it should be able to support from over in that direction. In the center, we have our 2 units of warriors and 1 of the attack drones. Because this is end of game scoring, their job is pretty much going to be to move forward and engage whatever they see. Because a dead enemy can't hold objectives. And then over on the right flank, behind all of the slop, all the difficult terrain and all the buildings, we have 1 unit of attack drones with their Strider. They're going to be able to pop out and fire at stuff. And then we have the Cyberbirds, which for some reason, I forgot to write down on the list that I brought out here. But you can see it was in the list in the beginning. They are going to be able to fly over top of everything and just kind of harass that flank. And then they have their squad of Onis in ambush. Now for the Robot Legion, they have 2 of their squads in ambush, so only 4 of them are on the board. Let's start all the way on the flank where their deployment zone kicks out. That's where the Annihilator is going to be hiding. Over there in all that difficult terrain, because they have Strider, and they should be able to hold that down pretty much on their own, because they are one heck of a nut to crack. In the center, we have our tripod walker along with our unit of Robot Legion warriors with the reanimation. Those are going to be mutually beneficial to each other. The tripod's going to be able to buff up that unit of warriors, giving them swift and giving them their self-repair boost. And then on the right flank is the unit of bikes. They got put there because across from them, that tank, it's pretty much going to be anchored to that objective, because as soon as it moves out of there, those bikes are going to snatch it from out from under it. So that is our deployment. Moving on to turn number 1. First activation of turn number 1 is going to go to the Eternal Dynasty tank. It is going to move 8 inches towards that objective, putting it right there and giving it a clear line of sight to the tripod walker. Is going to open up with its autocannons. It's got 9 shots, looking for a 3 to hit. Ugh. Well, we got 4 hits at AP2. Now, for the tripod, save of a 2, AP2 sets it to a 4. So it fails 3 of those, but it does have self-repair, meaning it saves on a 6. 2. Ooh, I'm not even in front. Oh, I'm getting bad with the dice box. There we go. We passed 1, so the tripod takes 2 wounds, down to 4. Now our tripod here with its gangster lean is going to be giving this unit here all of the buffs. They're going to have a swift buff and a self-repair boost, and then it is going to move forward, moving itself to there. And then it's going to be firing its 2-shot blast weapon into that squad over there. Normally it would be getting cover, but blast ignores cover. So the tripod's got 2 shots, hitting on a 3. Okay, one of those hits, so it'll be 3 hits at AP1. Dynasty warriors save on a 4. AP1 makes it a 5. But they're only going to lose 1. Now those Dynasty warriors that were so rudely shot, they're looking at the board and they're thinking the best thing I can do is return the favor to that tripod. And they're going to try to find a spot where they're at least going to get cover from any other shots coming in, especially from that warrior squad. It's probably going to move forward. Putting them to there, and then they're going to fire back. So this is our squad where the leader was only carrying a pistol, but they still have the warrior boost buff on them. So we got 7 guys with carbines hitting on a 4. 5s and 6s get extra shots. So there's the initial to hit. 4 extra shots going out on a 4. Ooh, they got 4 more hits. Now we got our plasmas on a 4. Ooh, we got 2 more shots with the plasmas for 2 more hits. Wow. So all the carbine shots are AP nothing, saving on a 2. There's 1. And then the plasmas, because it is going to get cover from that little rock that's in front of it, saving on a 5. So it takes 2 there. Now, self-repair. Fails all 3. Morale test for the tripod. And it is going to fail, meaning it is now stunned. It gains the dreaded Marble of Doom. Oh, those are my stun markers. Next to activate is going to be the Robot Legion Warriors, moving themselves to there, and let's see if they can snake some shots around. So after getting down to the angle on the battlefield, yes, they are going to be able to snake 9 of them around the legs of that tripod walker. Now the Eternal Dynasty Warriors are going to get cover. This weapon does not have AP, except if I roll 6, then it becomes AP4. There's a couple 6s. So we got 3 in AP4. The rest are going to be AP nothing, but they're going to get a +1 to their save because of cover. So the AP4 saving on a 6. Ooh, none of those. And the rest are saving on a 3. Ooh, 2 more. Morale check time for the squad on a 3, because that's what the hero's quality is. They're going to pass. Reducing the squad down to that. At least they still have a toe on the objective. Our second warrior squad over there, they're not going to be able to get in range of anybody, so they are going to double move or use their rush, allowing them to pile up behind the cover of that building. Next to activate are going to be the Annihilators and the Annihilator Lord for the Robot Legion, and with no targets to charge, they're going to move out on that objective. Next to activate will be this unit of attack drones here. They're going to use their Strider to get up and over top of the difficult terrain, putting a toe on the center objective. Last activation of the turn for the Robot Legions, we got the bikes. Now, they could just launch themselves forward and attack the warrior squad that's hiding out behind this building over here. But because this is an end-of-game objective game, they want to stick around for the end. So they are just going to wiggle a little bit, putting themselves there still out of line of sight of that tank. And so that is the end of the Robot Legion's turn 1. We got 3 more activations for the Eternal Dynasty. First activation, we got the attack drones. They're going to float forward and fire into those annihilators. Now they're going to shoot them. So we got our 5 attack drones, 1 shadow piece with puncture. These guys are the perfect target, hitting on a 4. We got 3 hits. They ignore regeneration because these guys are all toughness 3. They become AP 4, saving on a 6. They save 1. And then they got robot self-repair. So they take 1 whole wound. 1 guy's down to 2. Last 2 activations, we got the Cyber Birds. Now, normally, if you guys know what my playstyle is, I would jump on top of this and try to fight it. That's stupid. These guys are not fatigued yet. If these come in, maybe they kill 1. Maybe they're going to get fought back and just absolutely annihilated. So what they are going to do is both of these squads are going to move to hamper the objective play of that Annihilator squad. And that is where they are going to end up. What they have done, this squad here has put one of their little, wings on the objective. So contesting this. And then our second squad here has become kind of a roadblock. So if the Annihilators want to come this direction pretty much at all, they have to charge that unit. Well, they do have Striders, so they could technically go through the difficult terrain, but these just make it harder. So that's going to be the last activation of turn number 1. So those birds over there hampering that objective. At the end of turn number 1, the Eternal Dynasty is going to be holding 3 objectives. The Robot Legion is going to be holding 1. We got sticky objectives. We're going to see a whole lot of stuff change hands before the end of the game. Moving on to turn number 2, after we put our ambushers out, Robot Legion's got 2 of them. The Eternal Dynasty has 1, and then the Robot Legions go first on turn number 2. First ambush unit down to the Flesh Eaters coming in on that backfield objective. Hopefully clearing that out. And they might have to stick around for a turn because remember, ambushing units cannot contest objectives on the turn they drop in. So we will see what these little tickle fingers are going to do. Next, the Eternal Dynasty counter with the Onis back behind the objective on the Robot Legion's side of the board. Now, they do have a rapid charge aura, which means even if they run, they're still going to catch them. Then the Robot Legion's last ambushing unit are going to be the Shotgun Guardians dropping in on the far flank next to the tank. Hopefully, they are going to be able to bully some stuff on this side of the board. Now, on to the actual turn number 2. Now, decisions. For the Robot Legion, they have a few options. Like over here, they could try to run that way from this squad. But without the swift bonus from the tripod, because they used it last turn, they're now slow. So the furthest they could go is 8 inches away and give up shooting. But that's ridiculous. They would just get shot to hell up there. And even if they did, they would still be in range to get charged. This one is just a bad move for the Robot Legion, because what we want to do is we want to hit the Eternal Dynasty with some knockout punches, take some units off the board. That's just going to have to happen. And we'll look for support for that at another time. Let's check out the other ones. These Annihilators, they're just kind of stuck over there, even if they did activate. There's not really a whole lot for them to run into and just rip apart at the moment, so we might wait for the turn to progress a little bit. So the Flesh Terrors over here, they have 2 options to charge. And the thing is, if they activate like this squad and run away, then they can just jump on this one. And then vice versa. So we don't need to activate those quite yet. Leading us to this squad over here. These guys will definitely 100% get shot by that tank if they don't activate first. So they are going to activate first, move forward, and then they might shoot that squad over there. That's probably a good idea to shoot at that squad. Yeah, let's do that. So for movement, they do move 6 inches because they have the jetpacks. Putting them there, and they do have the relentless buff. They're going to fire at that squad. Let's see what happens. So this squad altogether have 23 shots at 12 inches with relentless at AP1. Here we go. Oh, they're hitting on a 3 as well. So there's our initial hits plus 7 6s over here. Meaning we hit all 23 times pretty much. So at AP1, they're all saving on a 5. Ugh. Leading to 16 wounds. Yeah, that squad's gone. Pop. And that ambush definitely made game impact. Now, tactics time for the Eternal Dynasty. What are their options now? As I said before, it doesn't matter which one of these squads activate. These guys are going to kill the other one. So, those Onis back there do have a clear line of charge into this squad of warriors. So that is high on our priority list. And then over here, we kind of have that squad locked down. We kind of want to keep it locked down. But then we got the tank over here. This squad over here is already activated. So for right now, this tank does not have anything that is threatening it. So we're not going to worry about that. But with these Onis, we could definitely get game impact on this turn and wipe out a big problem. So that's what we're going to do. Pachow. So we got multiple different attacks here. The first one, we're going to do the 3 regular Onis, hitting on a 3 with their basic attacks. So there's going to be 2 hits plus 1 extra from the Clan Warrior, or we have to attack with the Clan Warrior on a 3. It goes off, so there's 3 hits there. So, saving on a 4. Ooh, shoot, failed all 3. Robot repair, or self-repair, there's 1, so they only lose 2. 2 attacks in the Oni Champion at AP1. We got 2 hits there. Saving on a 5. Failed in both. Robot repair, failed in both. And then we have a total of 15 attacks at AP2 from all of their halberds, hitting on a 3. Quite a few. So we got that many hits there, plus 2 more for the 2 6s. Those hit as well. Saving on a 6 for their armor save. There's quite a few. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So we got 6 6s from the saves. Then we need to do robot self-repair. None of those. So they have lost a total of 9. Fighting back, the Robot Lord has 2 attacks on a 3. There's 1 hit, and then the other guy has 1 attack on a 4. No saving on a 3. Ooh, fail. So the Onis don't get away clean. Now, morale test for the robots. They're going to run. Now, they did have reanimation aura, so if they were able to survive this, they would have been slowly able to bring themselves back. But alas, that didn't happen. Leaving us with that. All right, Robot Legion time. The Flesh Tearers are going to run into that squad of warriors that's already been beaten up. Like that. 10 Flesh Eaters, 2 attacks apiece, hitting on a 3 at AP1. That's a lot. Saving on a 5. Ooh, that will definitely be enough to wipe the squad. Next activation for the Eternal Dynasties. That tank is going to give us a little bit of a wiggle. Putting itself there, and it's going to fire its Heavy Flamer and its Autocannon into that group of Guardians. So there we go. Heavy Flamer on a 2. That's a hit. 3 hits, AP1. They're going to fail 1 of those. Then we got 9 shots, hitting on a 4 at AP2. And then we got 2 more shots from Clan Warrior. 2 more hits. AP2 saving on a 5. So we got 2 saves. Add in the 1 fail from earlier for Robot Self-Repair on a 6. Save 1, lose 5. Because they're 11, that's not enough to force a morale test. Next is the Robot Legion, and then the Tripod Walker over there is just going to recover. The attack drones in the middle, they are going to move forward onto this objective. 1, to get away from these guys, and 2, to shoot at that big walking whatever over there. Now they're going to be doing some shooting. 5 shots hitting on a 4. All right, we got 1 6, which means we get 1 more shot, and it's going to hit, so we got 4 hits. Now, it is toughness 6, putting it in that wonderful sweet spot where these are all AP4, so it saves on a 6. Saves one of them. Oop, that was off screen, but there goes a 2. And then it's self-repair. It's going to fail all of it. Goodbye, tripod. Now, the jet bikes over here, they're kind of in a weird position. Kind of, between a rock and a hard place. So they're going to move forward, and they're going to be firing, at the Onis. See if they can soften them up for later on. Actually, now that I think about it, they're going to be moving backwards to stay out of the Oni's charge range. 16-inch charge range, 18-inch shooting. They're parked right at 16.5. So we got 4 shots apiece, hitting on a 4. They have AP nothing, but they do have surge. So if we roll 6, they get extra hits. Let's see what we get. 4, and that 1/6 makes it a 5. Saving on a 3. They take 1 more wound. Whooping. Next, we got the Eternal Dynasty. Those birds in the back, they're going to continue to be a nuisance. So they're still contesting that objective, but they're not going to fight nobody. Last activation for the robots is the Annihilators. They are kind of in a really crap spot, surrounded by things that they don't even really want to fight. So we're going to activate those. The first thing we got to do is their reanimation protocol. So on a 5-up, they get a wound back. They do not. So they are going to be moving out of there because, thinking about it, they're tactically, they could definitely kill one of these squads. But we want them somewhere else to fight something thicker. So they are just going to move out of that area, just pretty much giving up this objective for the game. But they're going to be useful somewhere else. So they're going to be using their Strider to go through that piece of difficult terrain and putting a toe on the middle objective. Now, the Eternal Dynasty get the last 2 activations in turn number 2, and that's these 2 here. So we're going to do some moving. We'll do them at the same time. So they're going to move like that. What has happened is that squad that was over here, they have now, since they have flying, they've jumped over this squad, and they are a roadblock over there. If they had Strider, they would not be able to pull that off, but they have flying, so they get to ignore everything when they move. Then this squad over here, they have moved out of charge range of this squad for next turn, and they're going to fire into these guys, because with the way we run our difficult terrain, these count as forests. You can see into, but you can't see through. So they're going to get a cover save, but with these guys giving themselves AP4 against this target because of their rule, it should be fine. So here we go, 5 shots, hitting on a 4, 6s, give us extra attempts. We got 3 of them. AP4 goes right through their 3-up save, including cover, goes right to a 6. They save 1. Robot repair. They saved 1. So the guy that's wounded takes another one. And at the end of turn number 2, the middle objective goes to contested. The left-hand objective goes to the Eternal Dynasty. And even though the Robot Legion have 2 squads on the back and the right objective, they ambush this turn, so they don't get to contest. But they will next turn. Moving on to turn number 3, Robot Legion's going to go first. So once again, tactical choices in turn number 3. This squad really wanted to charge the Onis over there, but because these damn birds got in the way, they can't do it. But they can still charge one of these 2. These flesh eaters down here, they are just kind of butt in the wind because, well, maybe. Now, they're not going to be able to catch that squad there. And if they move off of that objective, they don't take it this turn. So then we got our shotgun guardians, and then we got the bikes over there. The bikes, they're kind of sitting pretty over there, not really doing much. Like I said, they're there as like a late game spoiler. So, shotgun guys, we activated them first on turn number 2. We are going to activate them first on turn number 3, and they're going to pull forward and point blank into that tank. So let's do some shooting. So they've moved forward. They don't get relentless, but if they got far enough back to use relentless, they wouldn't be anywhere on the objective. And, happy thoughts. So, lots of shots hitting on a 3. And not too many. So we got 6 hits. Saving on a 3. Ooh, it takes 3 wounds, but again, it starts at 12. It doesn't really care. Because it's got 9 more to go. So now it's Eternal Dynasty's turn. And this is one of those situations where when you're playing against yourself, it's hard to set up a trap against myself. So what I would do here is I would set these guys over here so that when they charge, they're going to want to charge these or those. If they charge either of these 2 targets, those Onis are going to be able to come in. And, me being me and playing both sides, I know that. But also, those Annihilators have not gotten to combat in the first 2 turns of the game, and that's where all of their power is, other than just being bodies to contest objectives. So this is going to be one of those times where I'm going to force myself into a tactical blunder, even though it probably might not be a tactical blunder. We're gonna have these guys. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna see what happens with that to this and blah blah blah. Yeah, okay. You know what's going on. They're gonna shoot right there. So there we go. 5 shots. Oh, we got 3 hits. Again, these are AP4, so saving on a 6. There's 1 save. And a robot save of a 6. So they take 2 wounds. There we go. And I got to remember to keep him kind of out because he can come back. So like I was saying, these guys are kind of stuck. They want to see what develops around them. These guys here, they're kind of stuck as well because they don't want to leave this because they don't want to lose it and like it be contested. So them sitting there is going to take it on turn number 3, and then maybe turn 4 do something. But I can play against myself. I'm not going to bait anything over here. So the only thing right now that is something that's not going to hurt me in some way is those bikes over there. And with these bikes being 16.5 inches away, they're going to need to do something here because if they go flat out, they're going to be able to 1 micron on there. So, in order to force an error on myself, again, this is where things get weird. We're going to move forward 4 inches and shoot at those Onis. So we got 12 shots, a hit on a 4, and any 6s, we get more hits. Not too great. So 4 hits, that 1/6 makes it into 5. So the Oni save on a 3. Ooh, 3 wounds. All right. There's one of the big sticks down. So now we got a combo thing that's going to move into the next activation of the Eternal Dynasties. But for right now, that squad is going to shoot into there. 5 shots, hitting on a 4. Okay, no 6s, so we only got 3 hits. Save it on a 6. Ooh, failed them all. Self-repair. Nothing. All right. Taking them down to that. So now, because they've been able to keep them contained, I have not been able to trick myself. This squad, they're going to go ahead and just charge into this squad here. But before they do, they get to their reanimation rolls, and we have 7 of them to make. So we're looking for 5s and 6s. We get 2, which means the one that is wounded comes back to full, and then we get 1 guy back with 1 more wound. Now they're going to charge those attack drones. So now, we got 6 bodies in there. The Annihilator Lord has the same amount of attacks, same quality. So we got 24 attacks, hitting on a 3 with rending. So we just got a couple misses, and we got 1, 2, 3. We got 4 rending hits. So for the 4 rending hits, ooh, hey, they don't lose 1, but the rest of them save on a 4. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, that did exactly, because that was a rending hit, exactly 5, which is the squad. Then they get their 3-inch wiggle and end up like that. Next activation for the Eternal Dynasty, those Onis, they're going to charge in over there. Let's see what happens now. So first we got the attacks at AP, nothing. 2 hits. Saving on a 3. One fail. We're just going to go ahead and roll these as we go. So there's one goes through the robot regeneration. Oni Captain, AP2. We got 2 hits, 3 hits. Because of his clan warrior and he's 6, I get an extra attack. AP1 saving on a 4. Fail 2 of them. Robot self-repair. Nope, there's 2. Then we got 12 attacks at AP2, hitting on a 3. 2 6s. Still missed. So 8 hits, saving on a 5. Ooh, quite a few. 3 of them. And then self-repair. 1 more, for a grand total of 7 wounds cost. So they have taken some casualties. We still got 4 bodies to attack back, but they are fatigued because they attacked the attack drones. 16 attacks, hitting on a 6 because they are fatigued, but anything that does hit is rending, so it's going to go right through the armor. Ha-ha! We got 4, saving on a 6. 1 passed, so that means 3 go through. So overall, morale check for the Annihilators on a 3. They're going to pass. Ending up like that. Last activation for the turn for the robots. These guys, they're going to be chilling. Now it's all Eternal Dynasty left, the 2 birds and then the tank. So we're going to have the tank just start going to the squad right in front of it. Get off my objective. So we have the 1 heavy flamer shot. It's going to hit. 3 hits at AP1. They're going to save all of them. Autocannon hitting on a 4. All right, we got 7 hits plus the 2 6s. We get to re-roll to see if we hit. 1 more. AP2 saving on a 5. Ooh, not great. 5 go through. That robot self-repair. None of them. Oh no. Morale test. He's going to pass. Bringing it down to the robot lord staring down the barrel of a tank. Then we have our bird squad over here that has pretty much secured that objective. They are going to move, putting themselves there, still out of charge range of these guys here. And then the last activation is the second squad of birds that have just been a good roadblock. They go move, flying over the top, and they're just going to be a nuisance objective contester. That is the end of turn number 3. So at the end of turn number 3, ambushers are finally able to make their impact on the objectives. The flesh tearers in the back have finally secured their objective. And then the shotgunners, the lord that is left, is contesting from the tank on that flank. And the Onis, they were pushed off that center objective and not far enough to be able to flip the lower objective. Robot legions are kind of in a tight spot at the moment, but we'll have to see how turn number 4 ends up. Robot Legion get to go first. So here we go. Tactics check. Ignore the dice box over there. These Annihilators are kind of in a bad spot because they can only assault or melee 1 unit. So they either have to choose this unit or that unit. If they choose that unit, these are going to stay here and contest. If they choose this unit, other things that come and contest. So they're kind of a weird spot there. Over there, yeah, that might not pan out. Over here, these guys hold this objective, but they can't go anywhere. So they might have to just spread out to protect that objective. And the bike's back there. We'll see what we can do. Some measurements might work out. Can these guys contest? Yes, they could jump over and contest that. We'll see how it ends up. Dice are weird things. I have talked myself into and out of and back into this move. So the Annihilators are going to charge those Onis. First, I got to do the reanimation. Looking for a 5. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds back. So that is going to be 1 whole extra model plus the one that is wounded. The wounds go away, leading to us having 20 attacks, hitting on 3 with rending. Quite a few misses in there. Only 2 of them are rending. So the 2 rending hits on a 6. Save 1. And the rest on a 3. Dropping 2 more. So our 1 Oni that had 1 wound left is dead. And then the Oni champion is down to 4. Only Champ fights back. 2 attacks on a 3, AP1. There's 2 hits. Saving on a 4. Failed them both. Robot Repair. Failed them both. 6 attacks, AP2 on a 3. 4 hits. Saving on a 5. Passed 1. Robot Repair. None of them for a total of 5. Meaning it's time for the robots to take a morale test. They're going to pass. All right, that kind of seals the fate of the game there. But we continue. Time for the tank to hammer that robot lord. Heavy Flavor on a 2. It hits, but there's only one guy left, so it's only 1 hit. Saving on a 4. Passes. Now for the auto cannon. Ugh. 2 hits. Saving on a 5. Failed them both. Robot Repair. Failed them both. Morale test. He's fine. Bringing Mr. Robot Lord down to 1 wound remaining. But he's still a body on an objective. The flayed ones with no one in range to charge, they are just going to kind of spread out to make sure that no one gets on that objective. Like that. That's what they have been reduced to. Now we're into the very end game for the Eternal Dynasty. This squad of birds, they're just going to hold. They're going to hang out there because they can't make this without being within an inch of somebody. So they're just chilling. Those bikes back there, we're going to gamble, putting themselves there and shooting at the Oni. Now, I know that they could have come all the way up here to sit on this objective, but then this squad here would hop over to contest that objective, or the Oni would just take 3 steps back to contest. So this way, at least we get a little bit more carnage. So here we go. 12 shots, hitting on a 4. So 7 hits plus those 3 6s give us 3 more hits for 10 hits. AP nothing. Saving on a 3. 1. 1 wound to the Oni. Morale test. He's going to pass. Putting Mr. Oni down to 3. Then he's going to move. Ta-da. So in a wonderful case of crazy things might work, this Robot Lord is going to charge. So he does have 3 attacks at AP1. He is looking to shake this tank. On a 3, there's 2 hits. Tank is saving on a 3. It saves them both. It went for the Hail Mary. It just kind of failed. So we're going to go ahead and call it right there. Let's look at our primary mission. 1 victory point for each objective. The Eternal Dynasty have 2, and the Robot Legion only have 1. 1 victory point for each table quarter. We are going to say the Eternal Dynasty has 1 because they have 2 units in the top left. Those 2 in the middle, they could go either direction. They're not fully within a table quarter, so I don't know if we count those. And then we'll say the robots up in the top. They can go either way. Let's say they go the other direction. So there'll be 1 for each. So we have a score of 3-2. Secondaries. Finalize. Last player to destroy a unit. Thinking back on the game, that was the Robot Legion killing off a unit of attack drones. So that will make it 3-3. Control. 1 unit within 6 inches of the center. So now that objective in the middle is the actual center of the board. We both have a unit there. So it's a score of 4-4. And assassinate, kill the most expensive hero. Neither one of those got killed. The Oni champion is on 3, and the Annihilator Lord is still alive. So all of that came down to a tie. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me faffing around in the garage, talking a little bit about the tactics, the one-page rules, and the different tactics for the armies, and just playing it out, even though I can't trick myself. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button. Share this with your OPR friends or people you're trying to get into OPR. Check out the sponsors down in the description below. And I hope you guys are having fun playing OPR wherever you are, and I will catch you later. Bye-bye.